Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jessica Marqueux, and I'm the head of Opportunity Charter School. Thank you all very much for coming. I'd like to introduce to you everyone who's here from the school, except I can't see everybody, so I'm just going to give it a try. I see Sade McCaw, our middle school principal, so say hello, Sade. I know Caitlin Francis is here, our high school principal somewhere, so Caitlin, say hello. I see Inka Zimmer, our technology person, is here, so there's Inka. I see Donna O'Brien is here, who's our chief of staff. I think her voice thing isn't working. Latay Downs is here, our parent coordinator. Say hello, Latay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
I see Crystal Vasquez is here, our director of enrollment and admissions.
Yes, and I'll see some of you at 2 o'clock for our new parents.
Who's here that I didn't say introduce?
Our assistant principals, I believe, should also be here, Ms. Marqueux. I don't know if you...
I didn't see their names, but Barbara, are you here?
Miss Levine is here, Miss Marqueux.
Hi, Miss Levine, our middle school math teacher is here.
Hi, everybody. Hello, how you doing?
Laura is also here, Miss Coleman.
Laura Coleman, assistant to enrollment and admissions, is here. And I guess I'm going to stop with the introductions. Anyway, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. This is our first parent town hall reopening meeting. And at this point, we are announcing that we are starting the school year fully remote. We have made that decision based on the safety and health of our students and staff. And we will revisit that. We will revisit that decision on a monthly basis to see when we could go back to hybrid. Our goal is to get the students into the building as much as possible, but in the safest manner possible. So starting September 10th, your child will have a fully remote schedule. Shade, am I supposed to say something else?
No. No, you did the first day of school. I just can address the school psychologist.
Yes. We have hired for the first time in OCS a school psychologist who will be starting with us actually next Monday to help prepare. You'll be hearing from her to help any families who are experiencing any kind of trauma or for any reason at all want to reach out to the school psychologist. She will be full-time and ready to help in any way possible.
So
Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Ms. Francis.
I'm going to jump in and talk about our remote schedule briefly. Obviously, when we do go hybrid, this will be a larger discussion and about scheduling, but the remote schedule is pretty straightforward. And we would like to mimic a regular school day as much as possible with live instruction all day for your student. One change that you'll notice in the remote schedule is that it starts a little later, and this was based on staff and student responses, that attendance wasn't really up to par starting at 8 o'clock. So your students' first period class will start at 9. We'll speak a little bit more on a regular meeting about an 8:50 start with being more of an advisory / attendance taking. We'll speak more about attendance as well, but it is extremely important that your student attends all 6 of their live classes on a daily basis. They will meet regularly with each of their 6 teachers. They will break for lunch at the same time. And those classes will be live instruction. They will interact with their teacher, with their classmates as much as possible. We are doing our best to have as much live instruction as possible before we return to the building. I think that was it with the regular schedule. It will, so the classes will run from 9 to 4 with an advisory starting at 8:50 in the morning. Are there any questions?
If you have any questions, feel free to please type it in the chat. We will, Ms. Pacheco, if you can just take a minute. I believe you just joined, so I'm not sure if you're able to catch everything Ms. Francis said about the remote schedule, but are you able to translate for us?
Yeah, I mean, I apologize. I was on the wrong link.
Sorry.
With a bunch of other folks that hopefully clicked over. Good afternoon. My name is Ms. Pacheco. I'm the assistant principal for the middle school. And we just wanted to let you know that I'll be translating in Spanish. So, soy la señora Pacheco, trabajo con la señora Ms. McCall en la escuela del grado 6 hasta 8. Le queremos dejar saber que este año, por todo lo que está pasando, vamos a empezar el año como terminamos, que va a ser remote, va a ser por el internet. El primer día de la escuela va a ser el día 10 de septiembre, que viene siendo un jueves. Vamos a tener clases regulares como si uno estuviera en el edificio, pero van a ser por el internet, a donde los niños van a tener sus 6 clases, van a tener su hora de almuerzo. Las clases es mandatorio que los niños atiendan durante el tiempo que están supuestos a atender la clase, porque las clases van a ser en vivo y la instrucción de los profesores va a ser en el momento que van a trabajar con los profesores, los niños y los demás. Realmente el schedule va a ser igualito como si uno estuviera en la escuela, a donde los niños van a empezar a las 8:50 y van a ir a la escuela hasta las 4 de la tarde. Normalmente, si uno hubiera estado en la escuela, se hubiera empezado más temprano, pero una de las cosas que nos dimos cuenta es que los niños tenían problemas con despertarse temprano y realmente asistir a la clase cuando tenían que hacerlo. Entonces, por eso decidimos empezar el día más tarde. La escuela va a empezar a las 8:50 de la mañana y van a terminar a las 4 de la tarde. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Pacheco. Okay. Now I just want to, I know that we have some questions going on in the chat. Ms. Marquis, would you like us to address any of the questions as they come up or go through what we have? Okay, great. So give me 1 second.
Students will be provided laptops. If your student is in need of a laptop, please reach out to either of the principals or Ms. Downs. You can reach out to them. They'll all put their emails in the chat for you, and we will arrange a way for students to get computers.
Para cualquier estudiante que no tenga acceso a una computadora, OCS le va a estar dando computadoras a los niños para que puedan tener acceso y participar durante el tiempo de remote learning. Si necesitan computadora y el Wi-Fi, simplemente le deja saber a cualquiera de los dos principales, a Ms. McCall o si no a Ms. Francis, y también se le puede dejar saber a la coordinadora de padres, que es Ms. Downs. Van a poner su información en la cajita de chat para que si necesiten esa información la tengan.
Thank you. And then I believe there's a question. Hold on 1 second. Do we have to wear uniforms during the Google sessions or acceptable attire? Yes, it is. So the uniforms are not required for the chats, but however, acceptable attire is going to be required for the Google Meet sessions.
And just to elaborate too, I did see a question about which classes will be virtual, just to clarify that every single one of your students' classes will be virtual. So they will be expected to follow their schedule. They'll be getting it closer to the school year. And we will review some of the platforms, but we are most likely going with Google Meet, and Google Classroom, which they are familiar with from last year. And when they get to their schedule, to their next class, they will log into their virtual session. So it will be all day live.
So, otra vez, la pregunta fue que si los niños van a tener que usar su uniforme durante el día para las clases, y la respuesta es sí, que van a tener que mantener la camiseta de la escuela. Otra pregunta fue que si todas las clases van a ser por el internet, y la respuesta es que sí. Por ahora, todas las clases van a ser en vivo, pero van a ser por través de la computadora por remote learning. Lo que esperamos es que los niños participen en todas las clases, que van a seguir un schedule que se parece a lo que estuvieran haciendo si estuviéramos en el edificio, a donde vamos a poner, tiene matemática primero el primer periodo ellos van a asistir a la clase de matemática, después se supone que tengan, vamos a decir, la clase de ciencia, de que terminen la clase de matemática, se van a meter al Google Classroom de ciencia y van a seguir haciendo eso durante el día. Thank you.
Ms. Marquis, oh, sorry, Ms. Chandler, please go ahead.
I was gonna take over for you, or do you need me to pop in and switch your order?
No, if you can't take over, that would be great. I was just going to address a question real quick in the chat box. And then if you can, Ms. Chandler, thank you so much. The question is, what about the IEP? My daughter has counseling. How will she get that? Ms. Marquis, do you mind answering that question?
School will mimic exactly what it was for your student. They will get all the same services. So students who have counseling will meet with their counselor the same amount of times that is mandated on their IEPs. As a family, you could decide whether you want to do this through a platform or through the telephone, whichever works better for you, but weekly sessions will occur as mandated.
Thank you, Ms.
Cualquier estudiante que reciba diferentes servicios, esos servicios se le van a seguir dando. De preocúpese que vamos a seguir dando los servicios. Lo único que no van a ser en persona, sino van a ser a través de la computadora. So vamos a suponer que un niño tenga en su schedule que tenga que verse reunirse con uno de los consejeros. Ese tiempo se va todavía a dedicar para que puedan hablar con el consejero. Ustedes como padres tienen que decidir si lo quieren hacer de esta forma, a donde se están viendo por la computadora, por Google Meet, o si lo quieren tener, quieren dedicar ese tiempo por el teléfono. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Chandler. I see a question about the iPads. Are they working? There are representatives from the DOE that is calling all families that receive the iPads to transfer the information that's on the iPad from the summer and previous semester into now. So look out for the calls. If you do not receive a phone call, go back online, or you could contact me and we could send the new information to you.
So cualquier estudiante que recibió un iPad el año pasado, a través del Departamento de Educación, ellos están haciendo la llamada para poder transferir la información del año pasado, del verano, para septiembre. So, esperen esa llamada, y si no se comunica con ustedes, déjenos saber a la señora Downs para que ella pueda asistirlo con ese proceso.
Thanks, Ms. Pacheco. Hi, I'm Ms. Chandler. Sorry, I was a little bit late. I went to the same place Ms. Pacheco did. I'm one of the assistant principals here at the Opportunity Charter School. I've been here for 11 years, so well-versed, and I'm glad to meet all of you. I'm gonna jump in to help out Ms. McCall for a couple minutes. The next thing we are going to address is Teacherese. For our returning families, you guys are familiar with Teacherese as our main platform where you get emails from teachers, you can look up your students' grades, progress reports, report cards, and so on. For new parents, Teacherese is what we're gonna be using, continuing to use. We will be taking attendance in Teacherese after every single period, just the same way we would do in the building. Accounting for attendance is very, very important, and it's a legal document. As things do come up throughout the day, you know, an emergency, you will have your child's teacher's contacts, our contacts, and various things like that. So if there was an emergency where the computer wasn't working, or your child got sick and needed to leave the computer screen or something like that, you could reach out to anyone and let them know. So, you know, my child had to step away for a little bit, they're okay, they'll be back in a couple minutes. But we are really sticking to putting a lot of emphasis on attendance this upcoming school year. We also have the added benefit that we have a school culture team working with us, and each culture team member will be assigned a grade. They will pop into classes periodically throughout the day and can provide updates for you if you need to know, how's my child doing, where are they, and things like that. So that is an added support that we have coming up this school year. The one thing that we do have to do this year is that we noticed that we did have, you know, a couple of students who were absent on a continual basis during the emergency remote learning session. And if a child is absent for too many consecutive days, we will have to make outreach to other agencies to get the support to make sure the child is okay and that they can return to learning. The same way if the student was in the building, it's crucial that they are continuing their classes day after day and things like that. So if you have any questions about that, you can also put it in the chat and we can clarify a little bit about that. Now we're gonna go over to Ms. Zimmer.
Oh, wait a minute, I need to translate that. No worries. So, queremos repetir que ascendencia es súper, súper importante. No queremos dejar que ningún tiempo pase a donde sus hijos no están aprendiendo y no están trabajando. Queremos asegurarnos que los niños están presentes. Todos los días se va a tomar la ascendencia sobre el formato de Teacheries. Para los padres que han estado con nosotros en otros años, ya saben de Teacheries, a donde los profesores le pueden mandar mensajes, emails. Usted también puede ver las notas de sus hijos, pueden ver si están haciendo la tarea, si no la están completando. Pero la tendencia es mandatorio. Es súper importante que los estudiantes estén presentes. Si por cualquier razón su hijo o hija no puede asistir, por favor, como si tuviéramos una escuela regular, déjenos saber que van a faltar, por la razón que vayan a faltar, si se sienten mal, si tienen algo que hacer. Comunique con nosotros esa información para uno poder anotarlo. Otra cosa es que vamos a tener también el School Culture Team que va a estar asistiendo con asegurarse que los niños están presentes. Ellos van a estar chequeando, van a estar comunicándose con ustedes para dejarles saber si o no que están asistiendo, si están realmente bien. Una cosa que no es diferente en el sentido, siempre se ha hecho esto, pero tuvimos como más relax durante el final del año, pero es súper importante que los niños atiendan todas las clases. Si vemos que los niños están faltando demasiado, vamos a tratar de comunicarnos con ustedes para asegurarnos que está todo bien, pero también si tenemos que hacer cualquier llamada a cualquier agencia para que nos ayude a asegurarnos que el niño está bien, que puede aprender, vamos a tener que tomar esa decisión. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Pacheco. We're going to move over to more technology. We're going to have Ms. Zimmer speak to us about email and Google Meets. Is Ms. Zimmer with us?
Hi, yes. So this year, we're actually going to give all OCS students access to email. Since we're going remotely, we decided that this is going to be a huge benefit to teachers and students when it comes to communicating remotely. For online learning, we're going to be sticking to Google Classroom. So at the beginning of the school year, all students should see an invitation or should automatically be invited by their teachers to a Google Classroom. This is where all of the online work will be posted. Any video lessons, links, materials that the student might need to access for that class will be posted on Google Classroom. The platform that we're going to be using for video chats are going to be Google Meets. Google Meets is coming out with a lot of new helpful features for remote learning, and this is something that we were already using in the previous end of school year. So we're going to stick with this just so it's familiar to students. These platforms can be accessed off of a cellular device. They can be accessed off of a computer, a laptop. So it'll help everyone kind of stay in contact. As for the laptops, because I was seeing a lot of laptop questions, we're going to be working with families to get computers to families that need. Like Ms. Marquez said, if you could please just send either Ms. McCaw or Ms. Francis or Ms. Downs an email. If you will need a laptop, please do so. And then we'll be reaching out to families from there to make sure that you have the technology that you need.
So, uno de los cambios que vamos a hacer este año es que se le va a asignar a todos los estudiantes su propio email para que todo el mundo, los profesores, se pueda comunicar más directamente con los estudiantes. Solamente se va a poder usar ese email adentro de la organización de OCS. So, ellos no van a poder mandar mensajes a alguien que no sea parte de la escuela. Igualmente, como que nadie le va a poder mandar a ellos nada que no sean parte de la escuela para uno monitorar y estarnos seguros que está todo sano y salvo. Vamos a seguir usando el programa de Google Classroom. Todos los niños van a tener un Google Classroom para cada clase que tomen. So, van a tener uno para matemática, van a tener un Google Classroom para ciencia, un Google Classroom para historia y otra palabra para todas las clases. En septiembre tienen que aceptar esa invitación para participar en el Google Classroom. En el Google Classroom ahí que van a tener acceso a todas las materias, a cualquier trabajo que se le vaya a asignar, cualquier video que se vaya a dar, ahí que va a estar todo localizado. También vamos a seguir usando el Google Meets, que se parece como esta reunión de Zoom, pero es por vía de Google Classroom, a donde van a tener que participar todos los días, a cada hora, en sus clases. Is there anything else?
So when it comes to emails, we are going to be handing out an email policy that students and parents will need to sign. We are going to be sending this out through a link through Google Forms. Hopefully within the next week, you should receive an email with this form in it. Once you have signed that, we can start rolling out email access to students. So just please be on the lookout for that.
So, para que los niños puedan recibir el email, vamos a tener que pedirle que firme un formulario aceptando la responsabilidad de usar ese email. Otra cosa, si cualquier pariente necesita que su hijo reciba la ayuda de la escuela con una computadora o con Wi-Fi, por favor, comuníquese con nosotros. Déjenle saber a cualquiera de los dos principales o a Ms. Downs, the Parent Coordinator. Pueden llamar a la escuela como le pueden mandar un mensaje por email también.
Thanks, Ms. Pacheco. The next thing that we're going to address before going to a couple of the questions I saw come through in the chat, we're going to talk about the half days, the significance of it. So for our half days, some of the students will be a little bit excited. Rather than having the students start class early in the morning and then finish at 12 o'clock as they used to do and leave the building, well, leave the internet. We're flipping it this time to give the teachers their meeting time, their professional development time, and things like that early in the morning. Students on Wednesdays would start in the afternoon. We felt it was really important to dedicate time in the week that wasn't just dedicated to the major core subjects and address social emotional learning, how the students are feeling, especially since there's been a lot of learning loss. Students lost a lot during the summertime, which naturally happens, as well as, you know, switching to remote learning. So we're going to be having some dedicated sessions using a curriculum that we have from youth communications to work with our social workers and our school psychologists to address social emotional learning as well as intervention. So the reason why our Wednesdays are now called WIN days. WIN days stand for whatever I need, WIN. We can have smaller groups. We can have more intervention when it comes to math and science, just whatever the student is struggling with. The teachers meet once a week in a grade team meeting and we'll say, I'm gonna need for this particular student to come on Wednesday so I can work with them one-on-one, or I need to get this child caught up a little bit. They were sick or something else was happening. I'm gonna ask the student if this is a good time for them to come in to get that made up. So we want for that day to be specific to helping out our students so that there's no more learning loss. So everything will be getting addressed in that particular day. Are there any questions about how the Wednesday's half day would work? Okay.
Yes, hello? Hello?
Hi.
This is Miss Sterling. Trying to find out, you said the students would get help on Wednesdays. You would have half day with anything they need help with.
Yes.
Okay. Would they be online or would they have to come in? I didn't hear.
They'll be online in small
Okay.
groups with a teacher. The
Okay.
building will not be open at all. The building's not ready to be open. It hasn't been disinfected. Everything's not taken care of in the building yet. We don't have access to the building ourselves till September 10th. So until the building's totally right, we're going to do everything via remotely.
Thank you.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I kind of joined a little late because I'm running around. I just wanted to find, will y'all be able to send everything that kind of has been talked about in the meeting in the email? So I can just have it for my record so I can know what is what?
This is recorded and it will be posted on our website after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
So, para explicar, tradicionalmente los viernes eran el día a donde tomábamos tiempo para que los profesores tuvieran tiempo para seguir aprendiendo a través de diferentes workshops que uno tenía. Ese era el día donde los estudiantes terminaba el día a las 12. Ya eso no va a continuar. Este año cambiamos el día. En vez de tener mediodía los viernes, vamos a tener mediodía los miércoles. Y va a ser un poquito diferente porque los niños van a empezar a las 12 de la tarde y van a trabajar hasta las 4. Entonces los profesores van a poder participar en todos esos diferentes workshops y programas que tenemos planificados con ellos por la mañana. Esos días de los miércoles van a ser dedicados realmente para enfocarse en lo que los niños realmente necesitan más. Los profesores se van a reunir los martes para hablar y mirar el trabajo que han hecho todos los niños y van a decidir entre ellos cuál estudiantes realmente necesitan qué. So, vamos a suponer que mi hija María necesita realmente muchísima ayuda en matemáticas. Yo voy a decir, ella tiene que trabajar conmigo esta semana porque cualquier razón, si faltó mucho, me fijé que realmente está teniendo dificultades, esto es lo que nos vamos a enfocar en ayudar a María con matemáticas los miércoles. También vamos a tener oportunidades para trabajar con los niños, para asegurarnos que están saludables mentalmente y darle el tiempo de realmente conectarse con los demás niños en su clase, en su grado, también con los profesores durante ese tiempo.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco.
¿Preguntas?
Just to address some of the questions, I think I replied to some people privately. I want to thank you guys, thank you all for your flexibility. It's been a lot of waiting, and it will be some changes as we get new information, and we do plan to have more regular meetings to update you with new information. Some of the students I saw reached out and asked, how long will it take? We are just going with guidelines as incoming information comes in, so we do not know right now. The goal is, the plan is right now, everyone starts remotely. I saw, to address another question, it will be full, other than Wednesdays, your 6 classes every single day. There is no option for hybrid. As soon as we know we are starting hybrid, we will send out information about you requesting to stay remotely. You haven't got information about that yet because we are not going into the building yet. Just to address some of them too, the first class will start at 9 on every day except for Wednesday. However, there will be an advisory check-in at 8:50. So we'll expect students to log in at 8:50. Again, there'll be more information about that and about schedules in the upcoming weeks. Other questions?
Okay, since schools are closed, how are the people able to pick up a laptop?
We will have to make arrangements about dropping them off, or Ms. Simmer would be able to speak a little more to that, but at times we've met outside of the building. We definitely will make arrangements. Ms. Simmer?
So it's gonna kind of be dependent on every person's case, how we do it. So if you need a laptop and after you've emailed the principals or Ms. Downs about that, They'll get back to me. I'll start reaching out to families, and then I'll be working with families, hopefully individually, figuring out the best way to get a computer to you.
Hello?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hello. Hi, I had a question in reference to doing the interview assignment. A lot of the teachers actually holding the assignments at 6 o'clock. And as a working parent, I don't get in until 6 o'clock. Will that be changed to a later time for working parents?
So the goal, and you know, we'll be in more communication, but the goal is that most of the classwork is actually done within that hour. Now it's a little different. Students weren't required to go on live every period in the spring. Now they are. So the goal is that they complete their classwork during their actual session. Now, as far as homework goes, that will be at an individual teacher's discretion, which might be a little later, but we will definitely talk to teachers about flexibility about that. I definitely understand where you're coming from and the deadlines there.
And then also, hello, I have another question. I have two questions online. Teacher E, is it going to be the way that it was last year? Because it took my daughter about a good 2 months to get acclimated to spring teacher E. Is it basically the same setup, or are you implementing new things in teacher E?
So as far as taking attendance on teacheries, we're taking that out of the hands of the students now that we are requiring them to go live every period. So it will be in the teacher's hands to actually take student attendance, because that was a little confusing and there were, yeah, so that will be taken care of. Teacheries is still used for them to check their grade books, for them to monitor how they're doing, for you to monitor how they're doing in class. So that is something that we could get you training in as well, and the students, but they could always see where they stand in their classes by looking on Teacheries.
And my last question, then I'm out of here, to do that. You guys have everything kind of covered, but it's the student-on-student socialization during school hours. What are we doing to implement that? Because that is lacking. Did you hear me?
I couldn't hear everything.
I said, okay, so I said was, you guys have said a lot of things, but I haven't heard anything in reference to student-on-student socialization during school hours. Is there anything that is implemented for the student-on-student during school hours? Because this is what's lacking within these students, is socializing with their peers at school.
So now with the new features, with some of the platforms and some of the expectations that we're asking teachers, there will be much more student interaction during the classrooms, during our advisory and our social emotional piece that takes place every Wednesday. That is part, and that's why it's so important that they log on and see that face-to-face contact, because we are asking our teachers to acquire more of that collaboration. We do understand how important that is and how much they missed out. So definitely we are addressing that with our schedules this year.
Hi, hi, I'm Joelis and Brian Mejia mom.
Yeah.
I just have a question. Every student, they're going to be face to face with the teachers?
Yes.
Okay, with every teachers.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm just concerned because so many times my kids, they say, oh, I don't understand. I'm trying to contact, I trying to email or text them, and then do not respond right away, you know? And, you know, even my daughter, she's being on a road all the time. And then she say, you know, sometimes I feel like at this time I don't make it because I don't understand many objects. I don't understand when what the teacher give it to us. And I trying to contact to them, and then I don't get rich, and then they'll do pass, and then she's get whatever that she gets. And then, you know, I think this is like.
We understand. We understand, and we learned from last year. Like last year, we were just hit with this at the last minute. We didn't know much about it. But based on what happened last year, that's why we made the changes for this year. And your student, the teachers are going to be required to have every single class online. So your child to go to school just as they were on regular time. That's also why we added the email feature where students could directly email teachers now and teachers can email students. so that could be addressed right away. But it is going to be different than last year. Your student is going to school regular periods, regular schedule.
Okay, so they're gonna give you to them a specific address. I was reading. They're gonna give it to them email, so
They
they
have their
can
own email.
connect and use that specific email.
It's only for OCS. They won't be able to email outside of OCS, and teachers
Okay.
will only be able, they'll only get emails from OCS and to OCS.
Okay, so
So
if
they're only going to be able to email through the ocsny.org domain, which means only their teachers, and that's it.
okay, all right,
I have a question.
all right. So they're gonna start in 9:10, right?
9:10.
So,
All right.
Hello?
I don't want to confuse you guys with the start time. It's actually, when you get your schedule, it will most likely say 8:50 because we want to allow for that 10 minutes of check-in and attendance, a daily check-in, but the first class will start at 9 in the morning.
I have a question.
Okay. Oh,
Sorry. You can go ahead. I don't know who's talking.
Go ahead.
Angelique, go ahead.
Are you guys giving us an email to use, or we have to use a personal one?
No, you're gonna have your own OCS email. It'll be just for OCS and nothing else.
Excuse me.
Okay.
You know how
Can I
you
go through?
already have your OCS logon? It's the first two letters of your first name followed by your last name and your graduation year. I'm just gonna flip a switch on the back end, and that's gonna be your email address. So there's gonna be nothing new that you guys have to memorize. What you log in to Google Classroom with will be your email address now, okay?
And how will we be getting the things for Google Classroom?
How will you be getting access to your Google Classroom?
Yeah.
Teachers will be sending out either an email, or they will automatically add you to the class themselves, and then you'll be a part of the class. So each teacher will register the students into the Google Classroom.
what about
Okay,
the new
thank you.
students? What about the new
Yeah.
students that's coming in this year? How would they get their login information?
So new students, the way that they'll receive their login information will probably be through the activation of their email. We'll send out a generic letter to all parents on how to log in, access email, and access Google Classroom.
Okay.
So when do they get their programs for the high school students? They schedules?
Yes.
Because if it's a 5-day to log in every day, do they have classes every day for high school students as well?
So high school students will have.
This is Deshaun mother.
Hi, Deshaun's mother. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm fine, and you?
Good. So they're gonna have the same schedule that he had last year. Only the times are gonna be different, but he'll have English, math, social studies, science, some elective class and lunch every single day. And at 8:50, he'll have to log on in the morning. Someone will take his attendance for the day. And then just as he was in the building, he goes from class to class and has regular instruction.
Okay, thank you.
Before we continue, I just see Andrea, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question?
Yes, good afternoon. So my question is, my son took some Regents classes. He took living environment, sorry, give me a second. Living environment, I think if I'm not mistaken, ELA, and American U.S. history. My concern is that how will I transfer his Regents credits? Like what is the process for that? And being that he has Regents courses, how is his schedule going to look for the social studies, the science, and the ELA,
I can speak to
applicably?
that. Are you a new student, a new family?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Welcome.
Hi.
So for his Regents grades from last year, from June, we need to get the transcript from the other school. Without the transcript from the other school, we cannot do anything. Once we get that transcript from his school, we will individualize his schedule to figure out is he going into 10th grade?
Ninth.
No, he's going to 9th grade, so he took this class.
Yeah, but in the 8th grade, he took 9th
Okay.
grade region. Yeah, you get it?
So
Right.
once we get his schedule, he will still need the credits of certain classes in 9th grade. So we will individualize his schedule to match where he is once we have that transcript.
Okay. And how can I send that, like the process of the transcript to you?
Crystal, can you answer that question wherever you are?
Yes, you can email that to admissions@ocsny.org. I'll also write it within the chat as well. So it's admissions with an S at the end at OCS, like Opportunity Charter School, NY, like New York.org. So OCSNY.org.
Okay.
I have
Thank
a,
you.
I
Thank
have
you.
One quick
Thank
second.
you.
yeah, I have a
One second.
I just want to know if you guys this year they're gonna give you the region exam.
We just wait for guidelines and follow directions. As of now, they've canceled August test. We don't know about January. We're teaching our classes as we are preparing our students for regions. We're not changing our curriculum at all.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Ask a question.
John Vasquez.
Hello?
Sorry, he's been raising his hand for about 20 minutes now.
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll get, do you have a question?
My mom
Okay,
asked
we'll come back to him.
when we were gonna answer like the school.
John, can you repeat that, sweetie?
My mom asked us when are we gonna enter the school?
We're waiting till the school is safe, and once we know the building is safe and that the world is safe, we're going to come back. But we're just going to follow what's going on with the world and see what happens as soon as possible.
Amber Marte, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, my daughter's the first time in school. She's starting 9th grade. I wasn't able to log in on time or listen to the thing because I couldn't hear anything. How is it that she's going to do her classes? I mean, how can she connect if she's going to do it from home again?
So our school will be fully remote this year. We were fully remote last year, but now we're going to be even a little better at it. So you will receive a schedule, and the teachers will reach out to introduce themselves to her, and she will attend school like she was in the building, only remotely.
Okay, and to log in, because I have the computer from her old school. Do I use that same computer?
You can, or we could give you one, whichever. If you have to give that one back, we could give you one, whatever you need.
Okay, how do I pick that one up?
Yeah, there's been some, you could look in the directory on the website, and you can email either, she's a 9th grader, so you can email Miss Francis or you can email Miss Downs, either one, and they'll get the information over.
Okay, all right, thank you.
My email in there.
Next question.
Great. Okay. Hold on one second. I see. If you have a question, if you can just use the raise a hand feature, that way we can make sure. On there, I see Gwendolyn. You have your hand raised through the app.
Yes. Hello. This is Gwendolyn Sterling again. Cherishes and Envy Sterling's grandmother. I'm trying to find out two things. Do they have to put their uniform shirts on in the morning when they come to the remote learning, or they dress, in any attire?
They can't wear their pajamas, but they don't have to wear their uniform. So they have to dress, but it doesn't have to be uniform.
Okay, and also I have a computer that you guys gave me last year. They gave me one for Envy. I got both of them Chromebooks. So if a student needs one, I can return this one when y'all get back to the building, or however y'all want to pick it up, whatever way. But I have one of you guys' computers. They got their own now, so they have their own. So anytime y'all if somebody needs one, you can pick it up. Or I can bring it.
I'll probably reach out to you so that we can arrange that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I see that Ron Riley has his hand raised.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to add a suggestion. I know for the kids it's overwhelming for them to be on the computer every day, all day. When it comes to the PE, is it possible for them to have at least one day that they can incorporate all the kids to have some type of exercise together? Because they're not really active together, of course, because of the COVID, but at least have one video to where the kids can interact with each other and see each other having some type of physical activity, maybe jumping jacks or something of that nature, at least one day a week, to have them say, okay, well, I can see my other schoolmates, you know, exercising or something in that nature besides something with the PE, just writing down something or saying something about physical education, just having them do something actual physical that they can do together at least once a week by video.
I agree. And they definitely, the PE teachers are working on making more of an interactive class every day, even if it's, like you said, a little workout here and there. They will ask of the students. So very good suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see a hand up. Your name is listed as user 1. You have to unmute yourself. You already start to make sure you unmute yourself.
Sorry, y'all can hear me?
Hold on a second, Ms. Cummings. User 1.
Yeah, my name is Herbie Carroll. I'm Malachi's stepfather. This is his first time coming in. He's going in on the 6th grade. When will I get information from the teachers, since we don't know anything about the school, we haven't been there yet. How would that work? I don't even know about what color the uniforms was, or whether I'm supposed to go get uniforms just in case they do open the school. I don't have none of that information.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Hi, I'm the middle school principal, Mrs. McCaw. So we will be sending out a new student letter with all that information on where you can go ahead and purchase any of the uniform materials. Just also know that you can, the colors for middle school, just to mention, is burgundy top with burgundy polo and khaki pants or skirt. And that can also be purchased at any store like Old Navy, things like that can be purchased. But you get any other information from the new student letter. And, you know, rest assured, when we do have the opening for the first day, even though it's virtual, there will be meet and greet with the teachers and things like that. Okay, and we will be having an orientation as well.
One more question. Since he's in IEP, I guess they would send the IEP teachers to where they can interact with him also.
Absolutely.
I'll get that information.
Yes. And his IEP will be adhered to, and you will hear from his learning specialist early on in the year, who will be looking into all his services and ensuring that they are all done.
Yes. And Crystal, are you able to just talk about the call at 2 real quick? Any information we'll be providing there?
Incoming families, there's a call at 2 p.m. Just very similar to what we just did. The only difference is going to be that we're going to share additional information about enrollment and completing the enrollment process to ensure that your child is actually going to be starting our school in September. So we're going to be reviewing that process, as well as a brief overview of the school if you haven't seen the school, if you haven't visited, and a lot of our new parents will be on that call too. So if you're able to join, it's a completely different link. It was already emailed out to all of our incoming families or potential incoming families, and that's in about 9 minutes.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we do have about 9 minutes. We want to get through the questions quickly. I see Nicole, you have your hand raised.
Hello?
Nicole Walker. Okay, Luna Annie, you have your hand raised.
Yes. So I'm the sister of Emmanuel. And my mom had some questions about, since he's gonna be a senior in the school, she wanted to know if they're still gonna help him find a college, going through the FAFSA applications and stuff like that.
Who is your brother?
Emmanuel.
Oh, yes, we have a full-time college person on staff, Miss Finger. I'm sure he knows her. And all seniors, everything senior.
And there'll be weekly senior town halls, just to keep them updated with that kind of information.
All right, thank you.
I wanted to go back to Miss Cummings.
Yes, I couldn't hear earlier. I wanted to know about the schedules, when they're going to be emailed for my daughter. And another question is, like, with the Google Meet, when my daughter had like her speech, it wouldn't connect properly. So I just want to know, is that going to be fixed? Because she's going to be needing that when school starts. Hello?
So her computer didn't connect.
No, my daughter has a laptop, but every time before, when she would do her Google Meet with the speech teacher, it wouldn't go through. It kept shutting off.
Was it just with the speech teacher or was it with the regular classes as well?
No, it was just with the speech teacher.
Okay, so when things like that happen, just email one of us and we'll get in touch with the speech teacher because maybe it's something with the speech teacher's computer we have to check out.
Okay, and I couldn't hear correctly. When is the schedule's going to be emailed out to?
We're working on them. Hopefully sooner than later. We're working on them. It should be soon.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hi. My name is Takia Smith. My son is an incoming student, and I just had a question in regards to his IEP. He has a para on his IEP, and I know, that's probably, I don't know how y'all gonna work. Will paras be available, like, remotely or?
Paras are still going to be provided to students who have them on their IEPs. I'm not quite sure how it works remotely, but if you have a suggestion what you think would work for your child, you could let us know and we'll see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, I just know I'm a working mom. I'm a single mom. I'm already stressed out about this whole thing. We barely made it by the grace of God last year. He's coming into a new school. He doesn't know anybody. We don't know the teachers. We're not familiar with anything. So I'm just proactive. I just want to have things in place. I work for the post office.
What grade is
he's going into 6th grade. I'm just trying to alleviate a lot of stress. And as far and
I'm going to tell you who to get in contact with, and I'll have someone put her email in the chat box. But Nisa Bilal, Miss Bilal, is the person who oversees our paras. So you could reach out to her. I'll try to get her email in the box for you right now. Okay? But Miss Bilal oversees the paras.
And my last question would be, I hear you speak about email, and he came from an elementary school where the students and teachers were emailing all day, and it was just interrupting the class. He had over 20,000 emails. Of course, we couldn't go through all of those emails, but the prompts and notifications was just going on throughout the entire day. So when y'all issue out emails to the students or the parents, is it going to be just for that individual child and parent, or when another parent emails, if they're emailing, where everybody gets the same?
We are not doing group text at all. It will all be individualized. We will not have group text.
Oh, no, because on Google Classroom or Google Meet, the way the elementary set it up, when they were interacting on the computer, but it was like when another student responded or had a question, we would get the notifications, and it was just so annoying, disruptive, distracting, and that's what I wanted to ask.
That was the way that was set up. We definitely can show you how to deactivate that feature.
Okay.
We all learned.
Okay.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes. Tatiana?
She was saying, Tatiana, did you have a question?
I wanted to know, I'm not computer savvy, and I was having some difficulty with
going into the Google Classroom to check her work or her homework and stuff like that. And then we read that they will use the TPEs and the Google Classrooms and these things that we're supposed to be on top of the kids with.
So you trailed off a little bit to the end. I'm thinking that what the question you're asking, you can tell me if I'm wrong, is tutorials for parents as to how to navigate Teacher Reads, Google Classroom and such. Is that correct? Is that your question?
Some type of workshop that's having to help them navigate through the apps that they have in the parents, which is renewed. So when the parents are watching or checking homework and stuff like that, they know exactly how to navigate through the app to make sure that the work is being done or ended in or what the case may be.
Got it.
Sorry, Chandler, you're gonna answer it?
Got it.
We will be planning a virtual things so we could go over Teacher Ease, me and Ms. Zimmer, for the second week of school. Me and Ms. Zimmer will be planning that next week so that all our new parents and past parents can know how to access Teacher Ease.
During that time, Ms. Downs, if we have any other questions about maybe looking at how Google Classroom works or how Google Meets works as well,
Yes.
we can definitely go over that with parents at that time too, just so you kind of know the ins and outs of the programs that are going to be required to use for remote learning.
Yes. So I'm going to add my email address again. So all parents, I ask that you send me your email address, whether it's, if you're a new parent, send it, and a returning parent also send your email address because it may have changed or we may not have it in the system. So that we can all, you guys could all receive the invitation when we do the Google Meets workshop for Teacher Eats.
Okay, where do we send the email to?
I'm gonna add my email address again if you guys do not already have it, as well as my phone number.
Thank you. So
Okay, thank you.
We're now being ushered to the OCS meet and greet.
We're going to say goodbye to go to the new meeting. Thank you, everybody.
If you are a new incoming family, the link has been posted inside of the chat. So you can click on that link and be transitioned over. Thank everyone for coming.
Thank you. Such a nice turnout.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.